सर्वेश्वरी जगदीश्वरी, सर्वेश्वरी जगदीश्वरी, हे मातरूप महेश्वरी, हे मातरूप महेश्वरी, ममतामयी करुणामयी, ममतामयी करुणामयी, हे मातरूप महेश्वरी, हे मातरूप महेश्वरी। जगजीवनी संजीवनी, समस्त जीवनेश्वरी, जगजीवनी संजीवनी, समस्त जीवनेश्वरी, हे मातरूप महेश्वरी, हे मातरूप महेश्वरी, ममतामयी करुणामयी, ममतामयी करुणामयी, हे मातरूप महेश्वरी, हे मातरूप महेश्वरी। कृपणी जगतारिणी, प्रतिपल भुवन हृदयेश्वरी, कृपालिनी जगतारिणी, प्रतिपल भुवन हृदयेश्वरी, हे मातरूप महेश्वरी, हे मातरूप महेश्वरी, ममतामयी करुणामयी, ममतामयी करुणामयी, हे मातरूप महेश्वरी।
भीमातीर्निवासाय पंढरीपुरवासिने पाण्डुरङ्गप्रकाशाय विठलाय नमो नमः। मरुत्पुत्राय कवये भीमाय भयहारिणे श्रीमदानन्दतीर्थाय प्रख्याताय नमो नमः। शिवतनयवरिष्ठं सर्वकल्याणमूर्तिं परशुकमलहस्तं शोभितं मोदकेन अरुणकुसुममाला व्याललम्बोदरं तं मम हृदयनिवासं श्रीगणेशं नमामि। कृष्णव्रता कृष्णमनुस्मरन्तः रात्रौ च कृष्णं पुनरुत्थिताय ते कृष्णदेहा प्रविशन्ति कृष्णम्। आज्यं यथा मन्त्रहुतं हुताशे बुद्धिर्बलं यशोधैर्यं निर्भयत्वमरोगता अजाड्यं वाक्पटुत्वं च हनूमत्स्मरणात् भवेत्। चित्रैः पदैश्च गम्भीरैः वाक्यमानैरखण्डितैः गुरुभावं व्यञ्जयन्ती भाति श्रीजयतीर्थवाक्। प्रणमत्कामधेनुं च भजत्सुरतरूपमं श्रीभावबोधकृत्पाद चिन्तामणिमुपास्महे। पूज्याय राघवेन्द्राय सत्यधर्मरताय च भजतां कल्पवृक्षाय नमतां कामधेनवे। अन्नपूर्णे सदा पूर्णे शङ्करप्राणवल्लभे ज्ञानवैराग्यसिद्ध्यर्थं भिक्षां देहि च पार्वती। हयग्रीव हयग्रीव हयग्रीवेति यो वदेत् तस्य निस्सरते वाणी जह्नुकन्या प्रवाहवत्। राकाचन्द्रसमानकान्तिवदनं नाकाधिराजस्तुता मूकानामपि कुर्वति सुरधुनी। नीकाश वाग्वैभवं श्रीकाञ्चीनगरी विहाररसिका शोकापहन्त्री सता एका पुण्यपरम्परा पशुपते आकारिणी राजते। सत्यं विधातुं निजभृत्यभाषितं व्याप्तिं च भूतेषु अखिलेषु चात्मनः अदृश्यत अत्यद्भुतरूपमुद्वहन् तम्भे सभायां न मृगं न मानुषं नरसिंहं न मृगं न मानुषम्। My humble obeisance to the Lord of Vrindavan and Guruvayur, Shri Krishna, to Sri Rama, the Lord of Ayodhya, to Ma Lakshmi, Ma Saraswati and Ma Sita, to Mahadeva and Ma Kali, to Siddhi Vinayakji Maharaj and Subramanya Swami, to the exemplary devotees Shri Hanumanji, and to all the devotees of the Lord who have gathered here. By the grace of the Lord, we start the discourse on the Mahabharata with the traditional prayer. We chant together. Please repeat after me. Narayanam namaskritya Naran chaiva narottamam Devim saraswatim vyasam Tato jayamudirayet Namo dharmaya mahate Namak krishnaya vedhase Brahmanebhyo namaskritya Dharman vakshyami shashvatan Dharmo vivardhati Yudhishthira kirtanena Papam pranashyati Vrukodara kirtanena Shatrul vinashyati Dhananjaya kirtanena Madri sutau Kathayatam Nabhavanti rogaah Bhaktavatsalya jalade Paramananda rupinaha Asmadacharya rajasya Prapannasmi padambujam. By the grace of the Lord, on your behalf, on my own, We are first thankful to Lord Krishna for arranging the Mahabharata Katha here. Give him a big hand. All applause goes to him. Like all rivers reach the ocean, all applause goes to him. And next, it's my duty to thank Sri Rajendran, Sujata, and their proficient, efficient, and committed team. Give them a big hand, please. I'll mention details about the team later on. We thank all the sponsors. We thank all those who are responsible for holding this katha. Give all of them a big hand, please. Today's sponsors are Kala and Raju, Sukanya and Radhakrishnan, Raji and Kumar, Sundar Srinivasam. The prasad is by Mr. Jadeja of Sagar Restaurant. Give all of them a big hand. We can only pray, may these devotees grow from strength to strength, joy to joy, prosperity to prosperity, and may they continue to do this noble work which they've undertaken. I'll be failing in my duty if I don't thank the children for sitting here so quietly. Give them a big hand, please. And for coming day after day, I'm sure they'll benefit in some way. With these words of thanksgiving, we fall in tune with the divine and invoke the blessings of Govinda Damodara. Agre Gurunam Atha Pandavanam Dushasanena Kritavastrakesha
Krishna Tada Krush Anandanatha
Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. Govinda Damodara Madhava Iti means thus, aise, hige.
Govinda Damodara Madhaveti Govinda Damodara Madhaveti Govinda Damodara Madhaveti.
Draupadi calls out the names of the Lord, and the names are those which protect her. Shri
Krishna Vishnu Madhupeta Bhare Bhaktanukampin Bhagavan
Murare
Prayasvamake Shavalokanatha
Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. Govinda
Damodara Madhaveti Govinda Damodara Madhaveti
Govinda Damodara Madhaveti.
Govinda Damodara Madhaveti.
One day Mother Yashoda catches hold of Krishna and asks him, "Did you steal butter? Tell me the truth," not knowing he's truth incarnate. Jagdotha datto navanita pindo grihe Yashoda vichikitsayanti uvacha satyam vadahe murare. Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. Govinda
Damodara Madhaveti Govinda Damodara Madhaveti
Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. Govinda
Damodara Madhaveti.
Everybody can chant his name. Many don't. That's the reason for the problems. That's the reason for their depression, anxiety, worries, chinta. Vaktum samartho vinavati kashchit aho jananam vyasanabhimukhyam jikhve pibasva
Jikhve pibasva
jikhve pibasva amritam yeta deva.
Govinda Damodara Madhaveti दामोदर माधवेति गोविन्द दामोदर माधवेति
गोविन्द
दामोदर माधवेति
गोविन्द
दामोदर
माधवेति। मैं तुझको देखती, एक ऐसा रिश्ता है, एक ऐसा नाता है। Recently when I was in Vrindavan, it's the Lord's wish, it happens always. Every time I enter the temple of Banke Bihari Ji, some thought comes, some emotion rises, and a song comes to my mind. I was looking at Banke Bihari and I said, Krishna, I look at you and you look at me and my heart beats fast. What is this relationship? When I look at your feet, I bow down my head. When I look at Radha, I smile to myself. What relationship is this? When I look at your garland, I become your garland. When I see your lovely eyes, I lower my eyelids. What relationship is this? When I see the flute player, I sing with devotion to Krishna. You come playing on the flute, and I become your gopi. This is the relationship. This is the meaning of the song for those who don't understand Hindi. मैं तुझको देखती जाऊं, तू मुझको देखता जाए, प्रभु देखते देखते मेरा दिल धड़कता जाए। ये कैसा रिश्ता है, ये कैसा नाता है, ये कैसा रिश्ता है, ये कैसा नाता है। मैं तुझको देखती जाऊं, प्रभु देखता जाए, देखते देखते मेरा दिल धड़कता जाए। ये कैसा रिश्ता है, प्रभु कैसा नाता है, ये कैसा रिश्ता है, ये कैसा नाता है। चरणों को देखूं तो शीश में झुकाऊं, राधा जी को निहारूं तो मैं मुस्कुराऊं। मैं चरणों को देखूं तो शीश में झुकाऊं, राधा जी को निहारूं तो मैं मुस्कुराऊं। ये कैसा रिश्ता है, ये कैसा नाता है, ये कैसा रिश्ता है, प्रभु कैसा नाता है। मैं तुझको देखती जाऊं, तू मुझको देखता जाए, देखते देखते प्रभु जी मेरा दिल धड़कता जाए। ये कैसा रिश्ता है, ये कैसा नाता है, ये कैसा रिश्ता है, ये कैसा नाता है। मनमाला को देखूं तो माला मैं बन जाऊं, नयन कमल को देखूं तो नैनों को झुकाऊं। मनमाला को देखूं तो माला मैं बन जाऊं, नैन कमल को देखूं तो पलकों को झुकाऊं। ये कैसा रिश्ता है, ये कैसा नाता है, प्रभु कैसा रिश्ता है, ये कैसा नाता है। मैं तुझको देखती जाऊं, तू मुझको देखता जाए, प्रभु देखते देखते मेरा दिल धड़कता जाए। ये कैसा रिश्ता है, ये कैसा नाता है, ये कैसा रिश्ता है, ये कैसा नाता है। वंशीधर को देखूं तो कृष्ण प्रेम से गाऊं, तू मुरली बजाते आना मैं गोपी बन जाऊं। वंशीधर को देखूं तो कृष्ण प्रेम से गाऊं, तू मुरली बजाते आना मैं गोपी बन जाऊं। ये ऐसा रिश्ता है, ये ऐसा नाता है, ये ऐसा रिश्ता है, ये ऐसा नाता है, ये ऐसा रिश्ता है, ये ऐसा नाता है। तू मुझको, मैं तुझको देखती जाऊं, प्रभु मुझको देखता जाए। देखते देखते प्रभु जी दिल धड़कता जाए। ये कैसा रिश्ता है, ये कैसा नाता है, ये ऐसा रिश्ता है, ये ऐसा नाता है, ये ऐसा रिश्ता है, ये ऐसा नाता है। Did you like the song? That is the bond between the Jivatma and the Paramatma. Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Radha is cosmic energy and we're invoking her. Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Jai Jai Shri Radhe Shyam. In the Purva Katha Prasanga, we came to know of the children who have grown up. They have become graduates. They are exhibiting their talents. Everybody is waiting for them to exhibit their talents. And then says the Mahabharata, something happened. And what was that? A beautiful arena had been built by several artisans. Ranga madhye stitam dronam abhivadhya nararshava sajjyani vividakara sharai sandhaya kaurava anujjeshtam chate tatra yudhishthira purogama chakrurastram mahavirya kumara paramadbhutam. When Bhima and Duryodhana had clashed against each other, I told you in the Purva Katha Prasanga, it was a sad and perturbed guru called Drona who said, Ashwatthama, go and separate them. And then there was a lot of furore, lot of excitement, and the blind Dhritarashtra is asking, what happened? What is happening? What is this excitement about? Tato ranangana gatak drono vachanam abravit yo me putrat priyataraha sarva shastra visharadaha aindri indranuja samah sapartho drishyatamiti. Very proudly the teacher presents his prized disciple. And that is what is hurting Dhritarashtra. But he's in public, so he can't almost make his jealousy evident. He says, very good. And you know he doesn't mean very good. You know he doesn't mean it. He is burning with jealousy and anger that Panduputra, Pandu's son, is now the famous disciple of Dronacharya, who says, here is a disciple dearer than my own son. Give him a big hand. Which teacher will say that? Only an impartial teacher can say, he is dearer, priyataraha. He is dearer to me. Aindri yo me putrat priyataraha. I have only one son, Ashwatthama. But this boy, Arjuna, is dearer to me from those days. Right from those days, the son of Indra. He's called Aindri or Indranujama. He is almost equal to Vishnu. That is how Sri Narayana is compared to Indra himself, to Indra's son. Arjuna himself says the Mahabharata, Aindri Indranuja sama sa partho drishyatam iti. Kshatta. Dhritarashtra says, Vidura, what's happening? Kshubdharvana nibakkimesha sumhasmanaha. It looks like a turbulent ocean. What is happening? Sahasai muttito range bindanniva navastalam. The whole uproar seems to have gone straight to the heaven and disturbed the heavens also. What is happening, Vidura? Vidura says, you stupid fellow, you will never understand. You have such a moha for your children that you don't know that other people's children can be talented. Esha Partho Maharaja Phalguna Pandunandanaha. Look at the way Vidura speaks. Every word is important. This is Partha, which means Prutha's son. I hope you understand. Kunti's son, not Gandhari's son. Lest you should have some misunderstanding. You can't see. So let me make it specifically clear for you who I am mentioning. Maharaja Phalguna Arjuna. And who is Arjuna? Not your son. Your brother Pandu's son. Pandunandanaha. Every word is like an arrow that goes straight into the heart of Dhritarashtra. Don't tell me that. Don't tell me. Avatirnassa kavacha tatraisha sumahasvanaham. He has come with the kavacha. He has come with the armor and is looking shining and bright. That is the cause for all this excitement. And Dhritarashtra knows how to keep up appearances. Oh, I am so happy. When people say they're so happy, they're not happy at all. You know from their face, The phrase does not mean what their feeling is. Dhanyosmi, anugrahitosmi, rakshitosmi, mahamate, Vidura, my wise minister, I'm so happy that my brother's children are there to protect me. He is not at all happy. Not at all happy. Tasmin pramudite range kathanchit pratyupatyate darshayamasa bibhatsuhu acharyaya astralaghavam kshanena rathamadhyastah kshanena avataran mahim kshanena rathamadhyastah kshanena avataran mahim. Here my rival B.R. Chopra takes over. I don't have the multiple cameras to tell you how the arena looked, but there comes Partha, the handsome Partha. I hope you know, Phalguna is known for his loveliness. He is one of the most lovely of the Pandavas, the most lovely of the Pandavas, the most handsome of the Pandavas. And that is why when he comes on to the arena, he looks lovely and everybody is looking at him, particularly when he's clad. He's clad with his armor, he's got all his weapons, and he goes horse riding. And I hope you know the way the heroes perform just to show the public how dexterous they are in their archery skill and their skill of warfare. He goes round and round and round the arena and then throws the spear in the middle of the arena, goes round again, picks up the spear. Sometimes he gets off the horse. The horse comes to meet him right round the arena. Again he jumps onto the horse, jumps off the horse, takes on the spear, then throws the lance and takes on the lance. Every feat of his, for every feat of his, the public are clapping and clapping and clapping. What agility, what dexterousness, what lovely exhibition of the skill of warfare. And everybody is happy. Kunti must be happy in the gallery. Something happens. Etasmitu tasmin janasamagame datte avakashe purushaihi Vishmayotpullalochanaha Vivesharangam Vistirnam Karnaparapuranjayaha Sahajam Kavacham Bibhrat Kundalodyotitananaha Sadhanurbadha Nistrimsha Padachariva Parvataha Sa Niriksha Mahabahu Sarvato Rangamandalam. Soon after the exhibition of Arjuna's prowess, there comes an anonymous warrior, handsome, startlingly handsome, with an armor that has grown with his body, with a burnished earring that is a part of his body. We wear ornaments, he was born with ornaments. That was the difference between ordinary children and the child of the sun god. And he comes riding the horse, and looking to the right and looking to the left. There's only one problem with Karna, my dear children, and that is lack of humility. That is the only problem with him. And I want all children to remember, it is humility which will make us grow up in the world. Pride will lead us to a fall. The entire Mahabharata, right from this point, tells you that a man who is humble is the one who stoops to conquer. Give that man a big hand. Only he who stoops to conquer. However great you are in the world, please know how to bow down to the elders. There are so many books on body language now. And you know, from the way the person sits, the way the person smiles, the way the person walks, by the way the person talks, you can make out whether he is proud or humble. My learned father used to say, humility is a quality conspicuous by its absence. It is found in very few people. Very few people are humble. The great Swami Vivekananda always said, you want to know how humble you are? Go and stand before the beating waves on the shoreless oceans and you will know you're nothing. Stand before the billions of stars and you will find you're just a speck of dust. And these stars will live billions of years after you. Stand before the Himalayan mountain peaks and find that you're a tiny pygmy. All your ego is gone. Every time I go to the Badrikashram, every time I go to Himalayas, I stand at the foot of the hills and I'm a 5-footer. I feel I'm 5 inches, That is how I feel when I look at those mountains that rise above me. I am nothing. How can you be proud in a world where several great people have been? Yandaro Mahanubhavulu, Andariki Vandanamulu. There are so many great people, so many people. Bhaktum ki jai. Bhaktum ki jai, Bhagavan ki jai. Bhaktum ki jai, Bhagavan ki jai. भक्ति की अद्भुत महिमा की जय 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 भक्ति की
अद्भुत महिमा की जय
जय जय जय भक्तों की जय भगवान की जय भक्तों की जय भगवान की जय. But there is a cause for this frustration, my dear children, and you will see me reveal it to you by and by. There comes Karna. Vivesharangam vistirnam karna parapuranjayaha. He comes with that overconfidence of an expert. A proficient person can be either humble or can be proud. The proud man deletes God. The humble one installs God. The proud man makes enemies. The humble man makes friends. The proud man alienates himself. The humble man becomes part of the society to which he belongs. The proud man has to travel alone in the world. The humble man has several friends. The proud man becomes selfish. The humble man is unselfish. Which quality will you choose, my children? Which quality will you choose? Humility or pride? Each of these qualities tells you what you're going to be and what your future is going to be. You decide your future by the quality of your heart. Here is Karna entering the arena. Sahajam kavacham bibhrat. He is wearing an armor with which he was born. And strange enough, the armor grows with the boy. I hope you understand. The kundala grows. When he was small, he had a small kundala. And when he grew up, the kundala became big. So also the kavacha. Sahajam. Sahajam means that which you are born with. Along with him it was born. Sahajam kavacham bibhrat. Kundalo dyotitananaha. Only the Mahabharata can describe this way. Sadhanurbadha nistrimsha. He had a sword in belt, he had a quiver, and he had a bow. And how was he? He was like a walking mountain, says the Mahabharata. Padachari va parvataha. Imagine a mountain walking. You can imagine the stately height of Karna. He must have been a very tall man. When very tall people, well-built and handsome, start walking, you almost feel it's a mountain walking. Padachariva parvataha saniriksha mahabahu. He is looking around. You know who I am? That's what the look means. That is what the look means. Saniriksha mahabahu sarvato rangamandalam. And then he does pranama. How does the pranama look? There are some people who say namaste. Does it sound like namaste? Namaste. How can you be so disrespectful to elders like Drona, Bhishma and Krupa? How can you do that? Pranamam Drona Krupayo Natyadritam Ivakarot. Very casual obeisance. And Drona is shocked. Drona is shocked. He is the master of ceremonies here. How can he be neglected? When you meet the main person in the function, you must have the humility to do pranam. You must have the humility to do obeisance. Here is Karna giving a very, very nonchalant, peremptory obeisance. It doesn't look like an obeisance at all. So, Astravit me meghagambhira swarena vadatamvara Brata Bratarajam Agnatam Brataram Agyatam Savitra Pakashasanim Parthayatte Kritam Karma Visheshavat Aham Tataha. This is the first confrontation of the great brothers. I think from times immemorial, this story has continued. Even today in most of our Indian movies, you have two brothers, no? One who is a terrorist and one is an inspector. It always happens and they always clash. They meet somewhere and then they're shooting each other. Very, very, very old theme. Give Mahabharata a big hand. A very old theme. And they don't know they are brothers. And toward the end, both of them weep for each other because one of them has to die. That is how the story ends. Just to tell you the master pattern of the Mahabharata. The Mahabharata is the mother of all stories. The mother of all future stories and future plots. There he comes. And who is he? One is the son of Indra. The other is the son of Surya. In the Ramayana, one is the son of Indra. The other is the son of Surya. The Lord here is going to help the son of Indra. There he is going to help the son of Surya. As in the Ramayana, it is Bali who is killed and Sugriva who is helped. Here it is Karna who is killed and Arjuna who is helped. That shows the Lord changed the pattern. In one place, in one history, in one epic, he saved the son of Indra. In the other epic, he killed the son of Indra. This is where the katha begins. Brata brataram agyatam. One brother is telling the other brother, not knowing that he is a brother, agnatam. Savitra pakashasanim. The son of Surya is talking to the son of Indra. Partha, whatever feats you performed, I can perform them with greater agility, greater skill. Look, Parthayatte kritam karma visheshavat aham tataha karishye pashyatam drinam atmana vismayam gamaha. Don't you feel terrorized because I'm going to beat you hollow. I'm going to do it with great agility. Watch me perform. Pritischa Manuja Vyagra Duryodhanam upavishat Khrischa Krodhascha Bibhatsum Kshanenan Viveshaham. Everything in the Mahabharata is self-contained. Very easy for my rival B.R. Chopra to direct a movie. Everything is there in the Mahabharata. Vyasa is a master director or a masterly director. The moment he says, I can perform every feat that you have performed, Partha, what is the reaction to this sentence? The reaction comes from Duryodhana. Duryodhana is finally happy. I have found a rival for Arjuna. That is how it is. Why? Because if you become friends with your enemy's enemy, you are on the path to success. This is politics, my dear listeners. This is politics. Your enemy's enemy becomes your friend, then you're on the path to success. Not that he loves Karna, but he loves Karna as an opponent of Partha. I hope you understand how the political wisdom is entering the Mahabharata. I am very happy. Pritischa Manuja Vyagra Duryodhanam upavishat. On one side, you focus the camera on the face of Duryodhana. He said, well done, well done. There is a match for Partha now. I can tell the Pandavas, I have an equal to you. On this side, you have a very angry Arjuna. Is there someone who is equal to me? Is there somebody really superior to me? Khrischa. On one side he is ashamed, on one side he is angry. Khrischa, krodascha, bibhatsum, kshanena anviveshaha. Tato drona abhyanugnyata karna priyaranastadam yat kritam tatra parthena tachakara mahabalaha. All the feats that were performed by Partha were performed by Karna too. He went right round the arena on horseback, fast, throwing the lance and picking it up, throwing the spear and picking it up, throwing the arrow and picking it up. Sometimes he was on horseback, sometimes the horse was running without him, sometimes he jumped onto the horseback. And this is how everybody said, well done, Karna, well done. Now comes the delicate moment. Swagatam te mahabaho. Duryodhana says, well done, my friend. Gale lag jao. Come and become my friend. Dishtya praptosi manadam aham cha kuru rajyam cha yatheshtam upabhujyatam. Myself and my kingdom are at your disposal. We are friends forever. Is that clear? So that your enemy's enemy becomes your friend. Kritam sarvam aham manye sakhitvam cha tvaya vrine. All that Karna says, I just want to be your friend. Sakhitvam. Only thing I desire is Duryodhana. They call him Suyodhana. His good friends don't use the prefix du. Never does Yudhishthira call him Duryodhana. He always calls him Suyodhana. Su is a positive prefix. Du is a negative prefix. So he says, I would just like to be your friend, sir. Dvandvam yuddham cha parthena kartum ichhamyaham prabho. Things are heading towards a climax. I want to have a duel with Arjuna, 1-to-1. Duryodhana says, Bhungshva bhogan maya sardham. Enjoy my prosperity. Bandhunam priyakattavam. You are going to be happy with me and your relatives. Sudridam kuru sarvesham murdni padamarindamam. Trample your enemies under your successful foot. Anahuto upasrishtanam, anahuto upajalpinam, ye lokastan hatak karna, mayatvam prajipachyate. Arjuna is angry. He says, you cannot fight because you didn't have an invitation. People who come to this arena are invited. You're an anonymous person. Patani aap kahan se aaye ho? We do not know your background. I cannot fight with you because you have no background. You have not been invited. Rangoyam sarvasamanya. Karna says it's an open tournament. Anybody can join. And that is why I, as a professional, have every right to join this tournament. Kimatra tava falgunam, kim kshepai durbalayasai, sharai kathaya bharatam. Don't talk words, answer with arrows. This is what Karna says. Guru samaksham yavatte harami adya shirasharaihi. I'll cut off your head with my arrows. When this scene was being enacted, in the audience, there are two parties. It always happens. Some are for Karna, some are for Arjuna. Some say, hail Arjuna, some say, hail Karna. And now Kripa says, we should stop this. Because this was an exhibition match. It should not become a bloody affair, a blood-filled affair. It cannot be. It cannot be. And that is why he says, wait. We want to know who you are. There starts the delicate point. The entire edifice called Karna's personality crumbles when he is asked that unanswerable question, who is your father? Throughout the Mahabharata, you pity him. There is no doubt. Even if you hate him for his arrogance, you pity him for his condition. It is sad, isn't it, my dear listeners? It's sad that men produce children and leave them as unknown orphans by the orphanage steps. From times immemorial, men have abandoned children and women have not been able to own them. Sorry to say, man is the only person, only creature who leaves bastard children. Excuse me for using that word. Only creature who leaves bastard children. Have you seen an animal abandoning a child? Have you seen a bird abandoning a child? Have you seen any creature, reptile abandoning a child? The moment the child is born, the mother is licking the child to life. That is why it's called Vatsalya. That is how the cow looks after the little calf. Nobody in the world, no creature in the world leaves a child like man does. Ungrateful man, usually educated man. Fie upon education. If you don't have the right to own a child, then don't produce a child. How dare you leave a child in the open arena called life to fight against its orphan condition when everybody is asking him, who is your father? Kripa is a very clever person. He wants to avoid clash. He knows that this person doesn't have a background. If he had, then he would have introduced himself. I'm so-and-so, son of so-and-so, from a certain dynasty, and I have come to fight. When he has not said anything about his background, Kripa is very shrewd. Kripa is a diplomat of the highest order. Kripa, Drona and Bhishma are the elder statesmen. They are the elder statesmen of the Kaurava clan. Atham Prithayas Tanayaha Kaniyan Pandunandanaha Kauravo Bhavata Sardham Dvandvam Yuddham Karishyati. Gentlemen, may I have the privilege of introducing to you the hero of our side. His name is Partha. He is the son of King Pandu. He is born in the Kaurava dynasty, and his name is Arjuna. May I know your name and your background? Tvamapyevam mahabahu mataram pitaram kulam kathayasva narendranam eshan tvam kulabhushanam. What is the dynasty that you embellish? Which is the dynasty that you adorn? Kis vamsh ke bhushan ho? Bata do, bata do. Tato viditva parthatvam pratiyotsyati vanavam. He will fight with you only if you are equal to his dynasty, because only equals have a duel. Vritha kula samachare na yudhyante nrapatmajah. King's son don't fight with ordinary people. Eva muktasya karnasya brida vanatamananam. Don't ask me that question. Don't ask me that question. I'm totally deplenished of my energy. My knees totter. My head reels. This is one question which I have never been able to answer in the world. Who is my father? Who is my mother? I don't know. I don't know. And he bows down his head. I want you to see the climax of the situation. Duryodhana takes advantage of the situation. Of course, on one side he's good, on the other side he's diplomatic, both. On one side he's a good person because he knows this boy needs support. In public, everybody is saying, who is he? Who is he? What is his background? And nobody knows. Nobody knows who he is. Duryodhana says, bring the holy waters. I will crown him the king of Anga. And from today my brother Karna will be Angaraja. And everybody claps. Everybody claps. From absolute anonymity to celebrity. That is the promotion for Karna. You can imagine how grateful Karna would have been. Thousands of people are watching you and you have no answer. At that time, when you don't even know what answer to give to this question, who is your father, there comes an unknown benefactor who says, I will make you a king of a place. Not an ordinary person. Yadyayam falguno yuddhe naragnya yodhumarhati tasmat esho angavishaye maya rajye abhishichyate tatat tasmin kshane karna salaj kusumai ghataihi. All the holy things, all the holy materials are brought and they are poured on the head of Karna, and in one moment he is crowned. Abhishikto angaraje sashriya yukto mahabalaha. In one moment, from sorrow to joy, you see the development of Karna. He says, my friend, all my life I remain dedicated to you. Jaan aapke hazir hai. From today I live and die by you. You have saved my self-respect in public. You have saved my reputation. I had proficiency, but I did not have a background. Today you made me a celebrity, Master. You made me a celebrity, and I am thankful to you for it. Asya rajya pradhanasya sadrisham kim dadanite. What can I give a man who gives me a kingdom on a platter? What can I give him in turn? Prabruhi rasharaja shardula kartahyasmi tatha nripa atyantam sakhyamichyami. I want to hug you. I want to call you my friend, my dear, dear friend. Ahatam suyodhana harshacho bhau samashtisya paramudam avapatuhu. Paramudam avapatuhu. There are stories and stories about the friendship of Karna and Duryodhana. I remember a Tamil version of the story. It is said that Karna was so dear to Duryodhana that he could walk into the bedchamber of Duryodhana and play a game of dice with Duryodhana's wife in the bedchamber. That was the intimacy with the family. You don't allow everybody to walk into your private apartments. One day, he and Bhanumati were playing dice. From behind Karna, from behind Bhanumati, you find Duryodhana entering. By that time, Bhanumati had lost the game, and she was standing up. He pulled her by the pallu. he pulled her by the sari. The sari had real pearls, in the pallu, the real pearls. And as he pulled the sari, the pearls got scattered on the ground. Duryodhana was so happy that his wife had been defeated by Karna. He sits on the ground and says, shall I pick the pearls or string the pearls? He says. You can imagine. What a delicate scene. Shall I pick the pearls or string the pearls? He's not at all jealous of the intimacy between his wife and Karna, who's like a brother to him. This is the intimacy from that day. From that day, Karna and Duryodhana were dear friends, dearer than brothers. Now starts another altercation. Bhima says, nothing doing. This fellow who has no background will not fight. Natvam arhasi parthena sutaputra ranevadham. Now starts the altercation. And Bhima is generally known for this altercation. He loves to pick up a quarrel and he knows how to see it through. There are some people who love quarrels and some people who see it through also. This is where he says, no, you charioteer's son, because he comes from the place where charioteers were in abundance. So that is the Champapuri, where the baby was found in the wicker basket, and one of the charioteers brought him up. The Mahabharata says, from here starts the stigma. Suta putra rane vadam kulasya sadrishasturnam pratodo grihyatam tvaya. Go to your father's profession. You don't deserve to take up bows and arrows. Go and take the whip which your father, the chauffeur, has taken, and drive horses. You are not fit for the battlefield. And this hurts him. Duryodhana says, Vrukodara, don't you interfere with this. Vrukodara na yuktam te vachanam vaktumidrisham acharya kalashajyat drona shastrabratam varaham bhavatam chayata janma tadapi agatam api vayam. Everywhere in the Mahabharata, whenever these brothers clash, sometimes indecent words are used. Forgive me. The Lord said in the Gita, what happens when you get angry? Second chapter of the Gita. Sangat sanjayate kamaha, kamat krodho vijayate, krodhat bhavati sammoha, sammohat smritivibramaha, pratibramshat buddhinasho, buddhinashat pranashyati. Children, when you get angry, you say things which you didn't want to say. Why? Because that is what anger causes. Anger causes the demon to be out in you. And after a long time, you say, sorry, Papa, sorry, Mama, I did not mean to say it. But you said it. You said it because at that moment, you were a victim of anger. The Mahabharata says, now there was a very indecent altercation. On one side, Duryodhana says, stop it, Vrukodara. We know how you were born by mantra. And Bhima says, I know you were the product of a pot. Indecent language, You're not supposed to talk about birth in public. Whatever is over is over. That is between the rishis and the mothers. You're not supposed to talk about all this in public. Imagine open public. The brothers are using such indecent language. And then Kripa and Drona says, enough, stop it now. Bharadvaja tatastantu sarvan abhyabhashata panchala rajam drupadam grihitva ranamurdhani paryanayata bhadram sasyat paramadakshinam. Everyone wants to protect the good people of in the audience, and you have Dronacharya saying, let them be gone. Somewhere in the Mahabharata, you have the feeling of revenge. The Mahabharata has a range of emotion. What is great about the Mahabharata? I was telling my dear devotee friends like Sujata, Pushpa, and Lakshmi that doing the Bhagavata is exhilarating. Doing the Ramayana is a very serene, tranquil experience. But doing the Mahabharata is like life opening before you. It is as entrancing as life opening before you. When life opens before you, it has good and bad. It has peace and war. It has landscape, it has seascape, it has warscape, it has skyscape. It is beautiful. Life is so beautiful. At the time, life is so dreadly. On one side, you have children. On one side, you have elders. On one side, you have demons. On one side, you have gods. On one side, you have noblemen. On one side, you have ignoble men. So many types of people. On one side, you have great friendship. On the other side, you have terrible enmity. Enmity which is so bitter. that it sticks to your heart. बैर होना किसी का किसी से.
बैर होना किसी का किसी से, भावना मन में बदले की होना. बैर होना किसी का किसी से, भावना मन में बदले की होना. हम चले नेक रास्ते पे हमसे,
भूल कर भी कोई भूल होना.
हम चले नेक रास्ते पे हमसे,
भूल कर भी कोई भूल होना.
इतनी शक्ति हमें देना दाता, मन का विश्वास
कमजोर होना. इतनी शक्ति हमें देना दाता, मन का विश्वास कमजोर होना. Revenge is a bitter feeling in mankind. It is almost animal. Only the animal cannot forgive. Do you know that? Only the animal cannot forgive. Man can forgive. That's why we say to err is human, to forgive is divine. One day something happened in the life of Drona. Dronacharya, as I told you, was a scholar without money. Scholarship and money generally don't go together. Lakshmi and Saraswati don't coexist. Generally, very few cases where the scholar or the artist is rich. In the case of Dronacharya, one day he found his little son Ashwathama asking for milk. All that the people could do is take some rice flour and add water to it and give it to the baby. Drink milk. And the poor child is drinking milk. Drona says, "No, my son, my darling son, this is not milk." "Then what is milk?" "I will get you milk. You have an uncle called Drupada. You have a great uncle called Drupada, my dear, dear friend. We studied together. He's a king and he's got thousands of cows, and I'll get you a cow with a calf." Ashwathama is very happy. Father will get me a cow with a calf and I'll drink cow's milk every day. He's very happy. There goes Dronacharya to Drupada, and Drupada is sitting in court. My dear listeners, this is friendship. Friendship is something that should last. Friendship is something that should be lasting. Friendship is something that cannot be broken. Friendship is something that can exist between unequals. Friendship is something that is noble. Never allow yourself to outgo your friends in emotional way. Be there with them. Economically, you might have advanced, but don't forget those old days when you held hands together and had coffee in the same canteen or the same cafeteria. Don't forget those days. Don't forget those. However big you are. My master is the only example who will tell you, "Come, Sudama, hug me, my friend. You are mine forever." Only my Lord can say that. Only my Lord can say that. Bhagavata told you about it. The Mahabharata talks about that. There comes Drona into the court of Drupada, and Drupada looks at the minister and says, "Ask the Brahmin what he wants." Dronacharya says, "I don't come as a Brahmin. I come as your friend. Unequals cannot be friends. Asamano mein dosti ka hona asambhav hai." How dare you say this, Drupada? Today I will tell you, against the law of management principles, I, a Brahmin, will become a Kshatriya, and I will train a particular hero who will bring you to my feet, tied hand and foot. And if I don't do that, my name is not Drona. The gods in heaven trembled when a Brahmin had turned into a Kshatriya. Today is the day when Dronacharya is asking his disciples, "I want Guru Dakshina." Arjuna says, "What can I do for you, sir? Now that you have graduated, you can give me your Guru Dakshina. What can we do, sir?" "I want Drupada." Catch him alive. Easy to shoot at sight. Catching alive is difficult. That is why terrorists can be easily shot. But to catch them alive and then suffer all through the trials, we are going through that. Catch them alive. Catch them alive. Catch him alive. Bhima says, "Shall I make him a pindam?" I'll just make him a pound of flesh. But no. Arjuna says, that's not what our master wanted. That can be done only by me. And there goes Arjuna to bring Drupada. Te yajnasenam Drupadam grihitva ranamurdhani upajagmu sahamatyam dronaya bharatarshabha savairam manasadhyatva. Drona remembers the day he has been insulted in the court. Drupadam abravit ma bhai. Drupada is sitting there on the ground, tied like an animal, looking at the Brahmana. Is he going to kill me? The Brahmana says, we don't believe in killing. You Kshatriyas believe in killing. I will give back half your kingdom, because you said unequals cannot be friends. Let us shake hands now, because I'm giving you half your kingdom. Asamano mein dosti ka hona asambhav hai. You said that, now let us shake hands. Drupada looks at Drona once, and then he looks at Arjuna the next time. Varam dadami te rajan rajasyardham avapnuhi rajasi dakshine kule bhagiratya aham uttare sakhayam mama vijanihi panchala yadi manyase. Drupada looks at him and says, great Brahmin, I admire your prowess. You started your life as a Brahmin and ended it as a Kshatriya. Imagine a man changing his aptitude. Give him a big hand. Imagine a Brahmana becoming a Kshatriya and producing a star, a prized disciple. That day, in his heart of hearts, Drupada says, I want two things from the gods in heaven. I want a son who will kill this Brahmin on the battlefield. And I want a daughter who will marry this hero Arjuna. These are the only two boons I will ask of the gods. Now starts the beautiful history of the children of Drupada. After this, Drupada's yaga is going on. Yena me karmana brahman putrasyat drona mrityave. You see how the revengeful spirit is rising? That is why I said, when you do the Mahabharata, it's like life opening before you. There is good, there is bad, there is peace, there is war, there is revenge, there is friendship, everything together. And you are totally nonplussed. My God, so much happening all together. Here is Drupada performing a yaga. He wants two boon children. One for Drona Mrityu. He wants one child who will be the speller of death for Drona, and the other a beautiful girl who is going to marry Arjuna. Arjunasyapi vaibharya bhavetya varavarnini. Now interesting things are going to happen as the Mahabharata is heading towards the climax. The yajna is complete. There is a voice heard. Drupada says, the yajna is successful. What is the pronouncement? What is the announcement? What am I going to get? What is the prophecy? Esha shishyascha mrutyuscha bharadvajasya jayate bhayapaho rajaputra panchalanam yashaskaraha. He will bring glory to your race, and he will be the killer of Drona. And Punakumari Panchali Subhaga Vedi Madhyaga Manusham Vigraham Kritva Sakshat Sririva Varnini Eshottama Kulastrinam Krishna Bhubharaharini That is the announcement of Draupadi's entry into the world. Many people don't understand Draupadi. Many people don't. She's almost my best heroine, for the simple reason that she has a love for the Lord, an overpowering love of the Lord, which very few people have. When I think of Draupadi, she's born of fire. She's a fiery woman, bold but also bashful, brave but not brash. She's an empress but ready to serve. She's obedient but will not obey adharmic people. She loves Krishna as mentor, savior, master, guide, protector. She's beautiful, but not vain. She's revengeful, but capable of forgiveness. She cares for elders and sages. She's the Wonder Woman whom even God admires. That is Draupadi. She can command many. She beckons the Lord to her doorstep. Her faith in Krishna is unquestioning and firm. She believes, and belief is her life. Her hardship become bearable, for the Lord is with her through thick and thin. I call her co-conspirator with Krishna to bring down the burden of the world. Krishna, Bhubhara Harini, Paritranaya Sadhunam, Vinashaya cha Dushkritam, Dharma Samsthapanarthaya, Sambhavami Yuge 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 Yuge, Krishna, Bhubhara Harini, Krishna, Bhubhara Harini, Krishna, Bhubhara Harini. Small break for 5 minutes. They want an announcement before I plunge into the topic of Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna. Could I take this opportunity to give you an idea about what Kshetrapasana stands for? Kshetrapasana is a religious and charitable trust founded by Puja Professor Prema Pandurang and Shri P.R. Krishnakumar, a noted social worker and also the managing director of Aryavaidya Pharmacy, Coimbatore. The main objectives of the trust have been to revive and rejuvenate the values and ideals of Indian culture, which are appearing to be forgotten in modern era, and upliftment of weaker and downtrodden class of society. Appropriately named Kshetrapasana, which literally means worship of the shrine and symbolically means the worship and awakening of the inner shrine within each individual. The aims and objectives of Kshetrapasana have been protecting destitute cows and running goshalas, serving the grey hairs by running old age houses, renovation of dilapidated temples, promoting Vedic studies by running Vedic padashalas, free distribution of textbooks among needy students, doing relief works at the time of natural calamity, conducting Bal Sanskar Shivers, organizing Bhagavata Kathas for the public at different places, running Ayurvedic hospitals, so on and so forth. There are so many, I can't mention all of them at this moment. Activities of the trust, Harmony Home. Truly, this is an ideal place for senior citizens, totally unattended by the kith and kin, to live for the rest of their life, purposefully in harmony with the surroundings, beaming with spiritual energy. Old temples and renewed worship. Kshetrapasana has adopted many temples and started renovating the edific structure and reinstating the spiritual puja to the consecrated deity. Vedic Pathshala, the young trainees have been selected and are educated to promote, preach, and propagate Indian culture and religion with a missionary seal. Annadanam. Kshetrapasana has Annadanam for at least 500 people on an everyday basis. Sri Padam. Kshetrapasana has built a spiritual center on Tirumana Hills at the lotus feet of Lord Venkateshwara Balaji. We have personally visited the place and it's truly amazing. Something worth visiting, all of you. Cow demands a great respect in Sanatana Dharma. There are 3 goshalas at Sri Perumbudur Ashram, having 120 cows which yield milk enough to nourish 75 odd slum children and elderly neighborhood villages. Slum children and villages, my dear listeners. And they're also promoting the concept of looking after those cows who have stopped yielding milk. That is the dry cows, which, they protect them from being mercilessly killed by slaughterhouses. Ayurvedic Therapy Hospital. Ayurveda Hospital was established in consultation with the 100-year-old institution of Aryaveda Pharmacy at Coimbatore. Annik Kshetra at Vrindavan. Kshetrapasana runs a daily free food service for all widows spending the rest of their lives in Hari Kirtan in the holy city of Vrindavan. Daily, hundreds of these widows are served full meals without any charge. And you know about the major water problem in Chennai. Quenching thirst, there's an acute scarcity of drinking water in the villages surrounding the ashram at Sri Perambur. Presently, from our wells in the ashram, we are distributing about 30,000 to 40,000 liters of water to nearby villages free of cost. Okay, now comes the crux. You may realize that the task Amma has undertaken is a Herculean task, and the funds necessary for these activities are solely through the spiritual discourses conducted all over the world by Amma. As Amma mentioned, the names of Warren Buffett and Bill Gates, who have contributed generously to various charities, I request all of you to come forward and extend your helping hand with an open and generous heart to help achieve her objectives. Thank you so much. Jai Shri Krishna.
Thank you, Pushpa, for passionately appealing on our behalf. About 25 years back, I met Sujata's uncle. Krishna Kumarji is one of my organizers. And he asked me, "Are you happy as a preacher?" I said, "No." He said, "Why?" I said, "Because as a preacher, I just perform, people clap, and I go away. I want to belong to society." I remember Vivekananda Swami saying, religion and service should go together. From that time, we started Kshetra Upasana. And whatever she has said about us, that is what we are doing. And we will invite you, whenever you come to Chennai, please, 40 kilometers from Chennai is our little ashram. We have miles to go before I sleep. This is the appeal on our behalf. Thank you. Who is Draupadi? I ask a few questions. Is she a woman, or is she the divine colleague of Krishna, conspiring to destroy the wicked and uphold justice? Does her beauty not destroy the lascivious and fascinate the good? Her long tresses spell disaster when she combs them with her tapering fingers. Her words speak revenge, and yet she is capable of forgiveness. When she cannot forget or forgive, not only does her spouse Bhima fulfill her vows of vendetta, the great Lord himself declares in unequivocal terms that he will stand by her till she sees the stark devastation of her foul enemies. Draupadi, what does she stand for? Courage, conviction, compassion. She gives more than what she receives. She has the royalty of a queen and the capacity of an ascetic. She is born for luxury, but can put up with penury. She is a spirit of woman's freedom, putting up a brave front in the midst of continuous calamities, for her strength lies in the strength of Krishna. That is why. To remember her is to resurrect faith. To adore her is to adore values. To emulate her is to learn patience. To deify her is to deify the spirit of Indian womanhood. It is a line which I liked after I wrote. I want you to repeat it for you. To remember her is to resurrect faith. To adore her is to adore values. To emulate her is to learn patience. To deify her is to deify the spirit of Indian womanhood. Draupadi is an unending saga of God love, weaving its way through love and hatred, war and peace, days and night, the sensuous and the sublime together. That was an introduction. People do not know what her strength is. She stands there as a strong woman. A strong woman. She is going to come into being. Punakumari Panchali Subhaga Vedi Madhyaga Manusham Vigraham Krutva Sakshat Sririva Varnini Eshottama Kulastrinam Krishna Bhubhara Harini. The Lord Krishna is known as Krishna. Arjuna is known as Krishna. She is known as Krishna. Akaranta Strilinga. All the three of them dear to each other have the same name, my dear listeners. Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. All of them are dear to each other. Krishna Bhubhara Harini. There comes her brother. His name is Drishtadyumna. Drishtadyumna Kumaroyam Drupadasya Bhavatyati Krishne Tyaktva Bhavatkanya Krishna Bhutsahi Varnataha. She was dark. Just as they say, small is beautiful. Sometimes black is beautiful also. There are some dark beauties also. And she is one of them. Her complexion is like her brother, like her Lord, Shri Krishna's complexion. Tatat samvatsarasyante yauvarajyaya parthiva thapito dhritarashtrena panduputro yudhishthiraha. Children are growing up. As the children are growing up, you know Yudhishthira is the firstborn in that generation. Because he is the firstborn, he has to be crowned as the crown prince, Yuvaraja. Yauvarajyaya parthiva sthapito dhrashtrena panduputro yudhishthira. I want you to note every word in the Mahabharata. It's a Panchama Veda. Every word matters. Every word matters. Who is Yudhishthira? Panduputra Yudhishthira is now being made the crown prince of this state which is ruled by Dhritarashtra, by his uncle, not his father. Tato adirgena kalena kunti putro yudhishthiraha. Again and again you are told who he is. Piturantardadhe kirtim sheelavritta samadhi. He became popular. When you have a good child of a good parent coming into power, everybody loves him. He was the talk of the town. He was the talk of his country. Everybody made him a hero, and he was very popular with the people. This growing popularity of Yudhishthira made the Kauravas nervous. Oh God, he is becoming too popular for us. And it's not safe when Panduputra Yudhishthira, Kuntiputra Yudhishthira is becoming very popular. Something is wrong. And there they start asking each other, what should be done? What should be done? The mantris are talking to each other. Let it not be. Let us not repent later. They are growing strong day after day. This is the talk among the Kauravas and the mantris who are dear to the Kauravas. They are becoming Bhratavya, Balavantaste, Panduputra, Naradhipa, Paschattapo Yatha Nasyat, Tatha Nitir Vidhiyatam. Please find a way by which you won't repent later. Otherwise, when they become popular, we'll have no way. No way we'll have of saving ourselves. Now they start scheming. Whenever you have two factions, when you have two parties in the same country, naturally one is conspiring against the other. The Panduputras don't conspire. The Dhritarashtra Putras and Dhritarashtra always conspire. What is the problem now? They say, let us send them to Varanavati. And there you have a Shiva Utsava. And in that Utsava, a lot of artists will be performing. So we will send Yudhishthira and the Pancha Pandavas and Mother Kunti. Tell them, please go and have a holiday. Just like our modern movies, no? Where you find the villain sends the hero with his entire family, and either the plane crashes or the ship is sinking in the waters, or the car has a bomb within it, something or the other. The same old conspiracy. People wonder, why are so many people, why are all the Pandavas being sent away? There is something fishy about it. I told you the other day, all corporates decide that all the corporate chief will not travel by the same flight, even if they are going for an international conference. It is wrong, because they have all the secret papers. Anything can happen, and the whole edifice will collapse if all of them are crashing in one plane. They never allow all the main chief, the chief executive to travel by the same flight. So people are wondering, people are clever. Don't think people are stupid. Even if you think they are stupid, they are not stupid. They know something is going wrong. Look at this old man, Dhritarashtra. My children, my dear children of my dear brother, mamaite purusha nityam kathayanti punah punaha ramaniyatamam loke nagaram varanavatam. Oh, Yudhishthira, my dear brother's son, they say there is a beautiful picnic spot called Varanasi. Go and have a holiday. The poor children walk into the trap, not knowing that they walk into the death trap. They don't know about that. Te tato yadi manyantvam utsavam varanavate. Adding to it, the place is beautiful and there is going to be an utsava. On our behalf, we will give you lots of gifts to be given to artists and scholars. Go and distribute generously on our behalf. You are the crown prince. Please go there, Yudhishthira. Brahmanebhyaccha ratnani gayakebhyaccha sarvashaha. Please go and give whatever gifts you want. Prayachadvam yatha kamam deva iva suvarchasaha. Like the gods in heaven showering gifts. Please go and give gifts to the scholarly Brahmin and the talented artists. Kanchit kalam. The story does not end here. Please don't come soon after the Utsavam. Stay there for a while. Aram se rakna na. Thode din. Kanchit kalam vihrityaivam anubhuya paramudam idam vay Hastinapuram sukhina punareshyata. Please come later. Take your own time. Don't be in a hurry to return. And as they are going away, Yathoktam Rajaputrena Sarvam Chakre Purochanaha Tesham tu Pandaveyanam Graham Raudram Akalpayat. Purochana is a man who builds a house of lac. Lac is a material which is highly combustible. The moment it starts burning, you can't get out of it. The trap is so deadly, so fatal, you can't make your way through lac because it sticks, and it's burning and it's sticking. You can't make your way through it. You have to see yourself burned to cinders if you're caught in that death trap. And Purochana has built that. As they are leaving, Pandava Turathan Yuktan Sadashvain Anilopamaihi, beautiful horses, beautiful horse carriages, and all the Pandavas are leaving along with Mother Kunti. People say, Tan Rajyam Pidrita Praptan Dhritarashtra Namrishyati Adharmyam Idamatyantam Katam Bhishmo Numanyate. People are asking questions in public. How is this wise man called Bhishma allowing all the Pandavas and the mother to go away together? What is happening? It is their country. It is their capital. Why are they leaving? Yudhishthira says, don't say anything. Pita manyo guru shreshta yadaha prithivi patihi. Look at the good man called Yudhishthira. He is known as Ajata Shatru. Ajata Shatru is one who hates nobody and one who is hated by nobody. We can hate nobody, but many people can hate us for nothing. But here was a man whom nobody hated. A quality of the Ajata Shatru is known in that famous incident where once in the forest, there comes Bhima laughing, ha, 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 brother, ha, ha, ha. Yudhishthira says, what's the fun now? Oh, you should see, the Gandharva king is taking away Duryodhana, who is hanging upside down. It's a lovely sight for gods. Yudhishthira does not laugh. He says, Arjuna, yes, mommy. Do you have your bow and arrows? Yes, mommy. Go and bring Suryodhana safe. But brother, he is our enemy. He is a bad fellow, says Bhima. Yudhishthira looks at him and says, Vrukodara, when they fight against us, they are 100 versus 5. When we have an external enemy, we are 105. Please remember that. What an arithmetic of love. What an arithmetic of love. When they fight against us, the Kauravas versus Pandavas, it is 100 versus 5. But an external enemy comes, we are 105. This is the arithmetic of love, I call it. How much love he must be having for even these bad brothers. Only good people like Yudhishthira can love these bad brothers. Even in our dream, we can't love Duryodhana. I don't know why. Even in our dream, we can't love Duryodhana. He spells evil. He breathes evil. He stings of evil. I don't know. There is so much of evil in him that you can't forgive him. Only Yudhishthira. Yudhishthira says, Dhritarashtra is our king. He is our master. He is the boss of the show. Whatever he says is gospel for us. If I tell you something more, you'll have tears in your eyes. After 12 years of exile are over, and 1 year of incognito exile are over, and then the huge, terrible battle takes place for 18 days. Several heroes are killed, several heroes are sacrificed. After the battle is fought and won, when Yudhishthira is going to be crowned as the king, and he enters his kingdom, do you know who the first person to enter the kingdom? It is Dhritarashtra, my dear listeners, Dhritarashtra. On that day, Yudhishthira says, he is the eldest member of the family. Let him enter. How many of us can forgive? How many of us can forgive? Tell me. Only Yudhishthira can do that. This is the nobility of Yudhishthira. Right from now you see it. Pitamanyo Guru Shrestha Yadaha Prithvi Patihi Ashankamanais Tatkaryam Asmabhir Itino Vratam. My vrata is, I will obey my boss and my uncle. He is the boss and uncle. I don't disobey him. Bhavanta suhrudo asmakam yata kritva pradakshinam. Don't you follow me now. I'm going to Varanavata. I don't want you to follow me now. I'm going. And may you be safe. Do pradakshinam. Go round the chariot and go back home. We will come back after the holiday. And as they are going, only Vidura can speak. Vidura, the wise man, can speak in riddles. Only he can speak in riddles. He looks at Yudhishthira and says, Aloham, not iron, Nishitam, sharp, Shastram, weapon, Sharir parikartanam, which can be troubling to man. Yo veti natutam granti pratighata vidam dvishaham. It cannot be destroyed, but he who knows can get over it. Did you understand anything? Not iron, sharp, not a weapon, but troubling the body. He who knows it cannot be destroyed, but he who knows can get over it. It is the riddle. Kakshagna, destroying bushes. Shishiriknascha, destroying cold. Mahakakshe, below kasaham. It can save creatures in the small burrows. Nade dahet iti chatmanam yo rakshati sajevati. He who saves himself, saves himself. That's the riddle. Did you understand? No. Na chakshur vetti panthanam, na chakshur vindate dishaha, na drati bhutim apnoti, buddhyasvainam praboditaham. One who cannot see the path. One who cannot know the direction. One who cannot find out, cannot save himself. He who knows will save himself. Yudhishthira understand, very wise man. He is the one who is going to answer that quiz, no? That quiz which has been organized by the Yaksha, called the Yaksha Prashna. He understands, I know. They are warning us against something. And Vidura this is the only way Vidura can convey in public that there is a danger awaiting. Ajacha Chatrusama Sadhya Kunti Vachanam Abravit Kshattayat Abravit Vakyam Janamadde Abruvan Iva. Mother Kunti is totally zapped. She says, my son, what was Vidura saying? What was he saying? I couldn't understand a word. Yudhishthira smiles and says, Mother, I understood. He is warning us against fire. He is warning us against fire. There's a death trap there. They are sending us into a death trap. Vishat Agnesh Chabodhavyam. It is not a weapon. It is sharp. It is not iron, but it troubles the body. He who protects himself, protects himself. He who sees by day will see by night. One who cannot see will not know how the path is. Bhima, look out for the path. Only this morning we were talking about absent-minded people. I met a professor of IIT in Madras. Poor man, he was wandering around. I asked him, sir, what's the problem? He says, I'm looking for my house. You understand? I'm looking for my house. And for one student knows how absent-minded he is, he takes him. This happens every day. Every day when he's coming back from the lecture, from the auditorium, somebody leads him to his house. So there are people who are totally absent-minded. And there are people in many overseas countries who reach their home only with the GPS and the navigator. They don't know. They don't know which road, which number, nothing. They're in a total different world. What can you do? Here is the Mahabharata saying, watch out. What you say by day, you'll remember by night. So by day, you should see the landmarks. By night, you'll find your way, because night is dark. How will you find your way by night? It's almost like a Sherlock Holmes story. You find by night, you'll see the path if you've seen it by day. If you've not seen it, you will not know it. You will not know. Everything is sukshma in the Mahabharata. Vishadagneccha bodhavyam itimam viduro abravit panthano veditavyascha nakshatraicha yathadishaha. Those days people knew the path from the stars, from the constellation. They would know whether it's east, west, north, south. From the constellation they would know which way to go. Let us what out, says Yudhishthira. Let us what out. And now they come to Varanavata, this place which has the Shiva Utsava performed. Vidurasya suhrit kachit khanaka kushalap kuchit vivikte pandavan rajan idam vachanam abravit. The conspiracy is growing. There, a man called Khanaka. Khanaka is very good at architecture. He is telling the Pandavas, don't worry, I have been employed. I have been employed to help you. From today itself, I start digging a tunnel. Like our Indian movies, no? The tunnel suddenly a secret door opens from the wall. Have you not seen it? It's a very old thing, as old as the Mahabharata. There we'll dig a tunnel, and this tunnel will lead you into the center of the forest, and I will start digging it. Yudhishthira is worried about the payment. They don't know how much it will cost. Kanaka says, it's a prepaid program, sir. It's a prepaid program. Look at the kindness of Vidura. Vidura has managed everything. For Vidura, the Pandavas are dearer than his soul, because they are Krishna Bhaktas. Although Vidura belongs to the opposition party, he has no hand in the conspiracy. Although he is a silent spectator to atrocity, he is not a participant. He is not a participant. Vidura is the noble-hearted one who has to save Kunti and her putras. That is the vow he has taken, that he has to look after the bhaktas. Kanaka says, I will dig the tunnel, sir, and watch out, from today I am busy. Prahito vidurenasmi Kanaka kushalokyaham prachannam vidurenoktam priyam yanmlecha bhashaya. He told you in riddles. That is what it meant. Tvaya cha tat tatha ityuktam etat vishwasakaranat Krishna pakshe chaturdashyam ratrau asyam purochanaha bhavanasya tavadvari pradasyati hutashanam. This house of lac in the Krishna Paksha, there are 2 fortnights in the month. One is the bright fortnight, one is the dark fortnight. In the dark fortnight, the whole world is dark at night. That is why it's a Krishna Paksha. At that time, on the Chaturdashi day, on the 14th dark night of the dark fortnight, when you won't be able to see your way through the forest, that is the time Purochana is going to set fire to the building. Matra saha pradagdhavya pandava purusharshabha iti vyavasitam tasya dhartarashtrasya durmate. That bad man called Dhritarashtra has planned to burn all the 6 of you that night. And Pandavas say, Seyam apat anuprapta kshattayam drishtavan pura purochanasyat vidyan asmatvam pratimochaya satateti. Don't worry, says Kanaka. I have come here only to protect you, and I will protect you. Chakre cha veshmanastasya madhye nati mahat balim bilam kavata yuktam agnatam samam bhumyascha bharata. Every small detail of the Mahabharata is amazing in its meticulousness. You understand? Today we see movies. In one scene you have the heroine having short hair. In the next scene you have her wearing long dresses. There should be some logical sequence. Suddenly you find a Western hero singing Indian classical music. Where did he learn it? God knows. You never ask these questions. It only strikes you later when you are not watching the movie, emotion recollected in tranquility. But that's not the way. That's not the way Mahabharata presents itself. He has dug a tunnel, and the opening is in the center of the building, and the floor and the door look alike. Give him a big hand. Way of describing. Simple Sanskrit. Samam bhumyascha bharata samam bhumyacha bharatam. And then something else happened. How God is kind to them. Chakre nishi maharaja ajagmustato yoshitaha purochana pranihita prithayam sevane tada nishadi dushtaradaya nityam antaracharini nishadi panchaputra sa tasmin bhojye yadrichaya annarthini samabhyagyat saputra kalachodita. God is kind to them. Nature is kind to them. You call it accident, we call it providence. दुनिया में कोई चीज इत्तेफाक से नहीं होती, भगवत इच्छा से होती है. यदृच्छा means भगवत इच्छा. When this bad woman, one forester, comes into the palace where Kunti and her 5 sons are living, she has got 5 sons too. It is necessary. Again, it's almost like a crime story. This woman who always takes to drink, who always lives a life of sin, with her 5 bad sons, is also in the same building. That night, when the building is set on fire, Mother Kunti and her 5 children escape. This woman and her 5 children die. The skeletons are proved to be the skeletons of the Pandavas and Kunti. That is how people think that 6 of them have been burnt alive. Everything is planned by the Lord. Everything is planned by the Lord. Bhimat chete yatra purochanaha tato jatugrahadwaram deepayamasa pandavaha. Before Purochana thought of setting fire to it, he himself set fire and began to move out. How does Bhima move out? All glory to Bhima, huge hero. I told you, on the 10th day after his birth, he fell from a mountain peak, and the boulder on which he fell was in smithereens. You can imagine his strength now. A full adult called Bhima. What does he do? Jagama bratru nadaya sarvan matarame vacha skandamaropya jananim. He puts his mother on his shoulder. And then Yamo anke naviryavan in his lap he has got the 2 Madri Sutas, very dear, the youngest one, delicate ones. He has them on his lap. Partho grihitva panibhyam bratarau sumaha balaha. And Arjuna and Yudhishthira in his hand, and he's moving. How can he move? With his chest breaking the trunks of trees. He is Vayuputra, no? He can do anything. Urasa padapan bhanjan mahim padbhyam vidarayan sajagama ashu tejasvi vataram ha vrukodaraha. How does he move? Like with the speed of the wind, because he is Vayuputra, with the speed of the wind. And when he moves, tata pravasito vidvan vidurena narastada parthanam darshayamasa mano maturagaminim. When they reach the Nadi Tira, the riverside, they find a beautiful boat there. And sarvavatasaham navam yantra yuktam patakinim shive bhagirathi tire naraihi vistram bibhikratam. Everything is planned by Vidura. A very lovely, complicated ship. It is there waiting. It's got, please don't, it is manipulated manually. It has got yantra. It has got a machine. So you know it is safe. And not only that, it can face any tempest. Not like the Titanic to be drowned. It can face any tempest. It can face any tempest. And it's a beautiful ship. Now Yudhishthira is wondering how to get into a ship for which you can't pay. What do you do? Again, you have the boatman saying, sir, it's a prepaid trip, sir. It's a prepaid trip. Everything has been planned by Vidura. Every inch of the Mahabharata tells you there are dharmic people protecting dharmic people, because dharma protects him who protects dharma. Dharmo rakshati rakshitaha. I tell children, you don't need any armor if you have righteousness in your heart. If you have righteousness in your heart, the righteousness will be your guide and guard. It will be your savior, your armor, your protector, wherever you go. Javena prayayo veera dakshinam dishamastitam. Turn the camera towards the Kaurava field. Oh, Bhishma is crying. The Pandavas are dead. Kunti is dead. All the 5 of them are gone. Ha Yudhishthira, ha Bhima, ha Dhananjaya, ha Yamau. Twins, where are you? Madri Sutas, where are you? Ashwini Kumaras, where are you? Nakula, Sahadeva, ha Prate, where are you? Kunti, Sahaputra Ispam Ekaratrena Swargata. And he's crying. and he wants to offer holy water. Vidura goes close to him and says, we don't offer holy water to living people. Kya bola? What did you say? Deshakalam samajnaya vidura pratyabhashata etachatebhya udakam viprasinchana bharata. Don't offer holy water to the living people. My dear Vidura, God bless you. God bless you. I did not know you had saved them. How kind of you, Vidura. Vidura says, I did what is to be done. Don't you praise me. Don't you praise me. We are colleagues. And colleagues don't praise colleagues. It was my duty. We have our dharmic duty to protect the Pandavas. They are dharmic children, and Kunti is the mother of dharmic children. How can I not? How can I not protect them? Here comes a little bit of romance in between. The Mahabharata knows how to balance emotions. That's why it's like life, Kabhi khushi, kabhi gham. Sometimes it is smiling, sometimes it is crying. That is life, my dear listeners. That is my sukha dukkha, samay kritva, labha labhu, jaya jayo. That is what is life. That is what is life. And that is why Mahabharata opens like life before you. There comes Hidimbi, a Rakshasi, who falls in love with our hero Bhima. Our Bhima has got a problem now because the eldest brother is not married. So how can he marry now when this lady says, I'm in love with you, will you marry me? He says, I can't marry you because my elder brother is not married. Today I don't think we have any such sentiment in the home. The youngest marries first and the eldest one remains unmarried all his life. We don't bother. There was a time when there was hierarchy in the house, when you cared for the emotion of the eldest one. He goes to her, he goes to his mother and tells his brothers, no, I cannot marry. This woman wants me to marry her. All the brothers say, no, Bhima, no. Don't you wait for the order of marriage. You can go ahead and marry her. Udasino nirikshasva na karya sambhramastvaya na jatatvayam punarjivan madbhakvantaramāgataham adure nagaram manye vanatasmat aham vivo shigram gacchama bhadrante nano vidyat suyodanaha prayayo purushavyagra hidimachaiva rakshasi. Now you have in this particular episode a reference to that lovely meeting of Hidimbi with Bhimasena. And the product of that love is that lovable hero called Ghatotkacha. Ghatotkacha means as soon as he was born, he was a bald baby. Even if you love your baby, you don't like its baldness, no? You want a little bit of hair at least on its head. How was his head? Like a ghata, like a pot. Ghatotkacha. That was his peculiarity. But he's a lovable child. Whenever I think of Ghatotkacha, my heart trembles with joy and sorrow. He stands before his uncles and says, Jaan hazir hai. Anytime you want me to kill myself for you, think of me. And I'm there. The whole of the Mahabharata is a saga of sacrifice. That blind man called Dhritarashtra asked the wise man called Sanjaya, Dharma kshetre kurukshetre samaveta mamaka pandavachaiva kima kurvata Sanjaya. Is it an ordinary question? No, my dear listeners. A vista of happenings open before you. Hundreds of people stand there in a row to reveal themselves, to expose themselves, to present to you tragedy as it is presented on the battlefield. It's a Kurukshetra. It's a Dharma Kshetra. And yet adharma takes place. One boy called Abhimanyu is going to be killed mercilessly by 6 people. And this great Ghatotkacha is going to be sacrificed to the Shakti Astra. When Arjuna's life is endangered, Krishna says, call Ghatotkacha. Everything has a price. Victory has a price. कुछ पाने के लिए कुछ खोना पड़ता है. You have to lose something to gain something. And Ghatotkacha stands there and says, kill me. I will die for my uncles. And the huge Shakti Astra goes through his heart. The best part of it is when he is dying, he falls on so much of the army that half of the army is trampled and killed. You can imagine. Even when he's dying. That is the hero. And all the Pandavas weep. What a sacrifice, what a sacrifice. 2 young people are killed on the battlefield. One of them is Ghatotkacha and the other is Abhimanyu. Now, my dear children, life is a cycle. And in the cycle, sometimes you go up, sometimes you go down. We don't know what awaits us in life. We have to pass through the worst sometimes. But be brave, be united. That is what Mother Kunti taught her children. All of them lived in a small cottage. Half of the cottage was occupied by them, the other half by Brahmin family. And Mother Kunti came to know that there is a Bakasura, an Asura in this neighborhood, who has come to an agreement with the people of this town that every day one person from one home will be sent with a lot of food, one human sacrifice every day. And now is the turn of this particular cottage. And the Brahmana family is now prevaricating. The Brahmin says, let me die. His wife says, let me die. The son says, let me die. The daughter says, let me die. Kunti overhears this and says, don't worry, I have 5 children. I'll send one of them. And whom are you going to send? The strongest one. Why? Because he is hungry. Don't worry, he can never be killed. He will kill and come back. That is why I'm sending him. When the eldest brother says, Mother, how can you sacrifice Bhima? She says, can you ever think of Bhima being killed? He has an enormous appetite. All the food that you're going to send for Bakasura, he will himself gobble up. And then he'll have a nice duel with the Bakasura and come back. That is what he does. Just to tell you, Mother Kunti's heart is full of love. That is how neighbors have to be. Unfortunately, on the eve of Christmas, I must remind you, love thy neighbor as thyself. How many of us do? How many of us do? We don't even think of our neighbor. We are so callous. When there is a funeral in the neighbor's home, we are having a birthday party here. Can't you postpone it? Can't you postpone it? Can't you have it at least in some other place, not in the same apartment, next to one who is bereaving? I'm just telling you, be human, my dear listeners, be human. I'm only appealing to you, saying that the Pandavas are human people, humane people. That is what they're teaching us to be. Be kind, be kind. Kindness is the main principle of the Pandavas, which they learned from their mother. The Mahabharata is telling us these people had to live by begging. Whenever I think of the Pandavas, my heart bleeds for them. Heroes had to go around with a begging bowl. Very difficult. Very difficult for heroes to go and beg. Mahabharata says they used to go and beg and come back with a lot of food. And Mother Kunti would divide it into half. 1 half for Bhimasena. The other half for these 4 plus 1, 5. And for him, his eye is not on what is given to him, but on the other half which is not given to him. Bhimasena loved food, and for him it was like a morsel. He loved to eat. That is why in the Viratanagara, where great celebrities become non-entities and become employees in a household, he says, let me become a cook. Because you can't find out what the cook is eating. He's right in the kitchen. And the best part, or the most sentimental part, is after he finishes cooking, Bhima would take out the best things of the day and keep them aside. Late at night, he would share it with his brothers and Draupadi. It's a very touching scene when late at midnight, he would keep all the dishes for them. And great princes would eat in some corner of the palace, unknown, unseen. How much of trial and tribulation they went through. When I read the Mahabharata, I feel my suffering is nothing. My suffering is nothing. Although when you are suffering, you think you're the worst victim of fate. When you read the Mahabharata, you say, no, we are nothing before the Pandavas. They are stalwarts. They are stalwarts, and each one is a Superman. One Superman is enough. We have 5 Supermen among the Pandavas. All of them all of them far above humanity, and all of them known for their courage and prowess. Above all, they are known for their dependence on Krishna. It's the Krishna-protected family. A Krishna-protected family can never be destroyed. When I do the Mahabharata, God willing, next year for you, the main episodes will tell you whether it's Bhishma, whether it is Drona, even whether it is Karna. Karna is an opponent who realizes that Pandavas are invincible because Mahabharata ki katha mahan. महाभारत की कथा महान, जिसमें सत्य और धर्म की शान पांडव जीत गए, क्योंकि कान्हा उनके मीत भये। महाभारत की कथा महान, जिसमें सत्य और धर्म की शान पांडव जीत गए, क्योंकि कान्हा उनके मीत भये। महाभारत की कथा महान, महाभारत की कथा महान, महाभारत की कथा महान। Duryodhana approaches Bhishma and says, kill the Pandavas. No, Duryodhana. Yato dharmastato Krishna, yato krishnastato jayaha. You don't understand. He goes to Drona and says, kill them, kill Arjuna, kill. Drona says, you stupid fellow. At 85, I am fighting like a young boy of 16, and yet you don't understand how much I am doing for you. But a family protected by Krishna cannot be defeated. You foolish king, you will never understand. Karna tells everyone in the close confessing mood, my dear fellows, if Arjuna has in his banner, जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई, कृपा करो गुरुदेव की नाई। जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई, कृपा करो गुरुदेव की नाई। जो सतपार पाठ कर कोई, छूट ही बंदे महासुख होई। जो ये पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा, होई सिद्धि साखी गौरी। तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा, कीजे नाथ हृदय मडेरा। तुलसीदास
सदा हरि चेरा, कीजे नाथ हृदय मडेरा।
पवन तनय संकट हरणा, मंगल मूर्ति रूप। राम लखन सीता सहित हृदय बसो सुरभूप। पवन तनय संकट हरणा, मंगल मूर्ति रूप। राम लखन सीता सहित हृदय बसो सुरभूप। असाध्य साधको स्वामिन्, असाध्यं तव किं वद। रामदूत कृपा सिंधु, मत्कार्यं साधय प्रभु। Karna says, my rival Arjuna has so many advantages. His chauffeur is Yogeshwara and his banner has Hanumanji. How can he be defeated? Even all our professional skill cannot kill someone who has got the protection of Hanumanji in the banner and Arjuna and Krishna as the charioteer. The entire Mahabharata proves that dharma in the form of Krishnam, Dharmam, Sanatanam, it is he who is protecting the Pandavas. Everywhere in the Mahabharata, every important episode which I take up for consideration during the wartime will prove to you that the entire Pandava family is being protected by Sri Krishna. The next chapter for consideration tomorrow will be Draupadi's Swayamvara. Draupadi has grown into a stately, beautiful princess, and many young people are seeking her hand in marriage. Who wins and how does he win? Wait and see tomorrow. May the Lord fulfill all your dharmic desires. Please bless me as long as I live. Let me carry this message of faith and grace wherever I go. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, Yatra Partho Dharurdaraha, Tatra Shri Vijayo Bhutir Dhruvanetir Matir Mama. Narayana 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 Narayana
Narayana Narayana
Narayana Bolo Narayana
Narayana Narayana
Narayana
पार्थो धनुर्धरः तत्र श्रीविजयो भूत् ध्रुवानीतिर्मतिर्मम राधारमण मुकुन्द मुरारे शरणं मे तव चरणयुगम्
पवनपुरेशा राधा कृष्ण
शरणं मे तव चरणयुगम् देवी महेश्वरी stand up for आरती
शरणं मे तव चरणयुगम्
छोटाने करवाणुं देवी शरणं चरणयुगम् राधारमण मुकुन्द मुरारे शरणं मे तव चरणयुगम्
आरती कुंज बिहारी की
श्री गिरिधर कृष्ण मुरारी की
आरती कुंज बिहारी की श्री गिरिधर कृष्ण मुरारी की
गले में वैजंती माला
बजावे मुरली मधुर बाला
श्रवण में कुंडल झलकाला
नंद के नंद श्री
आनंद कंद
मोहन ब्रिज चंद्र राधिका रमन बिहारी की
कि गिरिधर कृष्ण मुरारी की आरती
कुंज बिहारी की
कि गिरिधर कृष्ण मुरारी की
गगन सम अंग कांति काली
राधिका चमक रही आली
लतन में ठाड़े वनमाली भ्रमर सी अलक कस्तूरी तिलक चंद्र सी झलक ललित छवि श्यामा प्यारी की
कि गिरिधर कृष्ण मुरारी की
आरती कुंज बिहारी
की कि गिरिधर कृष्ण मुरारी की त्वमेव माता च
पिता
त्वमेव बन्धुश्च
सखा
त्वमेव विद्या
द्रविणं
त्वमेव सर्वं
मम देव
कायेन वाचा
मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा
बुद्ध्यात्मना वा
प्रकृते स्वभावा
करोमि यद्यत् नारायणायेति नारायणायेति विना वेङ्कटेशं ननाथो ननाथः सदा वेङ्कटेशं स्मरामि स्मरामि हरे वेङ्कटेश प्रसीद प्रसीद प्रियं वेङ्कटेश प्रयच्छ प्रयच्छ अज्ञानिना मया दोषान् शेषान् विहितान् हरे क्षमस्वत्वं क्षमस्वत्वं शेषशैलशिखामणे श्रियकान्ताय कल्याणनिधये निधयेऽर्थिनां श्रीवेङ्कटनिवासाय श्रीनिवासाय मङ्गलम् मङ्गलाशासनपरैर्मदाचार्यपुरोगमैः सर्वैश्च पूर्वैराचार्यैः सत्कृतायास्तु मङ्गलम्. Tomorrow, by God's grace, there will be a bhajan session between 5:45 and 6:45 p.m. Being a holiday, please come and listen to the bhajans. God willing, we meet at 6:45 for the rest of the katha.
Prema.